Good evening and welcome everyone to episode 270 of The Dream Wager. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock. And joining me, my partner in crime, our NBA guru, Elvis Acosta. How you doing, kid?
I'm doing great, Dylan. Ready to unleash on this loaded episode for you guys. We're in the conference finals, East and West. We got the Heat, we got the Heat, the Celtics, and then we got the Nuggets and the Lakers. Deal rematch of the bubble. Guess what? Dale? I guess the bubble wasn't a fluke. Let's go.
Yep, let's get right into it. Like Elvis said, we got a loaded show for you guys. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. NFL scheduling came out. We'll give you guys some over-unders that we like, hardest, easy schedules, our thoughts on Elvis's team, the Patriots, my team, the Jets. I got some baseball plays for you. And like Elvis said, we got NBA playoffs. We are down to the final four. This matchup between the Joker and AD is going to be one for the ages. I can't wait. The first game is tonight. Heat and Celtics take care of their first game in Boston tomorrow at 8:30. And Elvis, let's start there. We could start with the NBA. Doc, as well, I said it after they blew that they should have won game 6, to be honest. They blew game 6 at home, had a chance to close it out. Game 7, anything could happen going back to Boston. They went on a 33-5 run in game 7. I think us and the boys could go and make more than that. Like, it was just bad. Embiid had an off game. Harden had a bad game. PJ Tucker was one shooting the lights out early on. So, to be honest, it was just a bad performance. Game 7 on the road. Doc pays the price for it. I had it in my notes that he should have gotten fired, and thank God he did, because 17-33 now in series clinching games. He's lost 10 straight game 7s. That's 5 or more than any other coach. I love Doc, and I think he did a great job. He had the right team in Boston when they won a few years back. But after that, man, it's just been disappointment after disappointment, and I just don't think he was the right job for this team. What are your thoughts on game 7? Jesus Christ, Jason Tatum had 51 points. He was that man, and he scored like that. I don't think anyone could beat them, to be honest. They are the favorite to win the whole thing right now. But what are your thoughts on game 7 and Doc getting fired?
Dill, thoughts on game 7, Dill. It's just Joel Embiid and James Harden didn't show up. It was kind of ironic to me that, at end of the game, post game interview, Joel is like, "Oh, me and James Harden can't do it alone." Bro, Max had a pretty good damn series. Yeah. I know Harris. You can say he's not playing to what he's being paid for, but he had a pretty good game 7. Let's just be honest. Joel and James, if y'all combine for, let's just say 55, which y'all should average together, that means Embiid gives you around 30, James Harden gives you around 20, 25. I think Sixers fans and a lot of people expect and will live with that, because of that deal. And they're nowhere near that. So, give credit to Jason Tatum. He went for 51. Exploded, basically exploded in the third quarter, early fourth. Game was over right there. Yeah. Give credit to PJ Tucker. If he doesn't score, I think
he had 3 threes in the first quarter.
If he doesn't score 11 points in the first quarter, this game is over early. So I was just disappointed that the fact that we saw James Harden at an all-time high level at games 1 and 5 just be basically a shell of himself in game 7, Dill. It just can't happen. And we saw, not even Joel Embiid, because, Joel Embiid has a small tear in his knee, so I'm going to give him a pass on that, because to me, he had a great series. He just didn't have enough for game 7. But James Harden, throughout all these years that we've seen, game 6, game 7, just failures. Yeah. Starting back all the way back, I think 2015 against Sacramento. I mean, not Sacramento, against San Antonio. No Kawhi, no Tony Parker. He lose that series, game 6, game 7. So we've seen throughout the years, even when they had a 3-2 lead against the Warriors, it's just James Harden never was able to come out clutch or come up big in those game 6, game 7 moments. If James Harden gives you a 45-point, 10 assist night, guess what? They win game 7. Hey, if he gives you that game 6, they win game 6 still. I feel the same way about you. I think game 6 was the one for taking. They let it slip away. But give credit to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Tatum and that defense did a tremendous job. And then Doc Rivers, the writing was on the wall. I could have told you this game 5. I was like, if Doc Rivers doesn't win this series right then and there after being up 3-2, he's getting fired. It's a fireable offense, Bill. And we've seen it. This is like the third game 7 with Philadelphia. Lost Toronto on that Kawhi buzzer beater on the corner, iconic shot.
Yep.
Lost 2 years ago to Atlanta when Ben Simmons.
And now this year, Bill. And it was heartbreaking just because, how your big guns had lackluster performances, Dill. So, it's a shame for Doc, but the writing was on the wall, Dill. There's only so many game 7s you could lose for one team and then expect to still have a job. So, yeah.
One thing on the positive side, Dill, I do think he will get a job moving forward just because there's so many openings.
100%. And one of the openings is Suns. That's an area where I think he was let go as an scapegoat.
Real quick to jump ahead, Dill, then you go. I think his main 2 targets for him personally will be a championship contender, will be either Phoenix or Milwaukee Bucks.
For Doc.
Yeah, for Doc.
And I don't want to say, because we could compare the Monty firing in just a minute, where I think that wasn't warranted. That team wasn't good enough to make a run. And I think a coach of the year, getting all the accolades Monty Williams did, and then getting fired, I think he was an scapegoat. He wasn't the problem. It was the team, as opposed to Philadelphia. They had the MVP. They had James Harden, Tyrese Maxey. One big thing in that series that I thought really, give him a little pass. Embiid was nicked up a little bit, but old man Al Horford did an amazing job defensively on him. Once Joe M, we finally talked about the coaching changes and what Joe M could bring to the table, and he finally made some adjustments, and he put Al Horford in the starting lineup, and I thought that worked wonders, limiting Joel Embiid. So Embiid can't do that. MVP, even if that's what you think, and it might be true, you're the MVP. You're the leader of the team. You cannot just say it's me and James Harden, especially when James Harden's -30 from the field. You just can't say he's a liability. You can't say anything. PJ Tucker was the highest graded player on the floor. So, you know what I mean? You can't say that. He did say he needs to be better, but he also threw his teammates under the bus. So, the process is over. They need to blow it up. James Harden, I don't expect him to be there anymore. Build around Maxey.
Yeah, definitely. Around Joel and Maxey. Try to get rid of Tobias. Hey, whoever was a GM who extended Tobias and did extend Jimmy Butler, I can see why you're no longer the GM there. Dill, I think you try to trade Tobias. James Harden's a free agent. I think he's gonna sign somewhere. But I definitely try to trade Tobias for somebody like a Zach LaVine. Somebody like that. Zach LaVine could do wonders alongside with Maxey and Joel Embiid.
Yeah. And go back to Friday. I wanted to touch on real quick because we recorded Friday and not Saturday. Thank you for adjusting everyone's schedule for me. Miami, it just at least we went out with a fight, the Knicks. I watched the game in Charlotte. We fought.
Real quick, like I said, I'm more confident with the +6 and the -6 with Miami because I know the Knicks they're gonna go down swimming. And Jalen Brunson, give credit to Jalen Brunson, he went down swimming.
Yeah, we went 8. He was the only one really doing anything. Joe made a good point about Embiid. He would have earned the respect of everyone around him, but I don't think that's the case anymore. He may have lost them, and I think he did lose the locker room. The Knicks. Jalen Brunson was the only one that really showed up. Other than that, we let a lackluster performance of Jimmy Butler off the hook. Jimmy Butler only had 24 points and Bam had 23. But other than that, Brunson had 41. He was the only one that really showed up. RJ Barrett, 1 for 10 from the floor. He had 11 points. He had a couple good games, and then he's like another James Harden. inconsistent. He'll have a good game, 2 games, and then he'll have a stinker like that. So Julius Randle, I'm tired of Julius Randle as well. I know I came out and said we were missing him offensively, but we need a better scorer who's not going to continue to do turnaround fadeaways off 1 foot thinking he's Dirk. I'm tired of that. We need to get the ball in better people's hands like a Jalen Brunson. He needs a guy like Klay Thompson, a spot around shooter that can move around. And we'll get on. But overall, I thought it was a great season for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is the guy. We just need a few more pieces around him. Credit the Heat. They were the much better team. Spoelstra, he might be a top 3 coach. Am I crazy for saying that? He outcoaches everyone.
He might be the second best coach in the NBA behind Grant.
Pop. Yeah. So I agree 100%. And then the Lakers take care of business against Golden State. You knew when they were going home, they were going to take care of business. What I mentioned Klay and him maybe being a target for a team like the Knicks. Games, what was it? 3, 4, and 5, or 4, 5, and 6 for Klay.
He averaged 10 points. He averaged 10 points.
That just can't happen, E. What's going on with Klay?
I have no idea, Dill. Real quick, game 1 and 2, he averaged 27 points. Game 4 through 6, averaged 10 points. I expected game 6 Klay, Dill. We didn't get that. I'm not sure what it was, Dill. Maybe he was rushing. Or guess what, Dill? You might just have to give credit to the Lakers. You know, they are rated the number 1 defensive team in the NBA since the All-Star break. So, hey, maybe it's Rob Pelinka with those trade deadline moves. And, you know, you understand, Dill. One thing that you gotta give credit to the Lakers, they're just not like defended on like Jared Vanderbilt to lock up. No, they go in and budget. Austin Reeves will give you a few minutes, you know, in the chair. Dennis Schroeder, LeBron will still give you a few minutes. You already know what Anthony Davis represents in the paint.
Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker will give you a few. Hachimura. Yep. So all these players are. You could honestly say they're all two-way players. You know, maybe not D'Lo, but Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, all of those guys could defend at a high level.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Rob Pelinka did save his job at the trade deadline, getting all these pieces. And look how good it's doing. We talked about the Lakers not even making the playoffs, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals in a very winnable series, I think. Don't you?
Dill,
we keep saying that. We keep saying,
I say this. I do believe their hardest defensive task they took care of already was the Golden State Warriors. I just feel like, can the Joker be too much of a problem for Anthony Davis? Like, for example, if Anthony Davis is in foul trouble, the Lakers have no shot. Because if Anthony Davis is, for example, though, it's the third quarter, 8 minutes left. Anthony Davis just picked up his 4th foul. William Gabriel is not going to do nothing with Joker. No. You can't ask LeBron to pick up Joker, 20 minutes a night? That's just, he's going to dominate, Dale. So to me, it's all about the supporting class and what those players could do. And if Anthony Davis, if he could match up well on the defensive side of Joker, because I think they got to cancel each other out. If the Joker is causing Anthony Davis to become in foul trouble, guess what? Anthony Davis I have the Joker in foul trouble as well, Dill. So to me, whoever's dominated the other and had the other opponent in foul trouble is most likely going to dominate and win this game. That game.
I mentioned it. It's that matchup between Joker and AD. Whoever gets the other one in foul trouble and off the court, that other team's going to have the advantage. And
think about it, Dale. Let's just say, for example, Joker picks up his 3rd foul with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Guess what? That's 6 minutes straight. He's not on the floor, or vice versa with Anthony Davis. So if you could chip away and cause some foul trouble, and then have one of those players off the court for 5 minutes straight at a time, your team could possibly could go on a 20-8 run during that stretch. So I think that's the key moment. How do you attack Anthony Davis? How do you attack the Joker?
It's going to be very interesting. I do think they have the advantage in point guard because I don't think anyone could guard Jamal Murray. Yeah, they could put a couple different guys on him and try to limit him, but Jamal Murray's going to get his.
I think I agree with you, Dill, but Jamal Murray, like, for example, we saw him in game 2 against the Suns only give you, I think, 12 points. If he gives you 12 points any game in the series, they're going to lose that game. They ended up winning that game against the Suns. They're going to lose that game against the Lakers because defensively they're just too good. Like I said, they've been the best defensive team in the NBA for the past 3 months. So,
Yeah.
and another thing is, I
Yeah,
think
they
that,
really lock up, E.
yeah,
I'm like thinking about it,
they
and now
lock
when
up.
when it's time to lock up, LeBron gets the team and they lock up.
When Jared Vanderbilt is on the floor, that's their best defensive lineup. And they're kind of big because Jared Vanderbilt is 6'8". Hachimura, if he's on the floor, he's
Yeah.
6'8". LeBron 6'9". Anthony Davis 7 foot. So, they have length there, and I think the X factor to me is KCP. If he knocks down 5 threes in a game, I think that's the change. That's the X factor deal. So if KCP gets it going, home or away, because Aaron Gordon, you know what he's gonna get. He's gonna get around 10, 12, 15 points. Michael Porter Jr. I don't expect him to do much, but we already know what he's gonna give you. Can KCP average 16 points a game, or he's gonna average 8 points a game? To me, that's what will be the difference in the series.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see what goes on. We'll get our picks for game 1 tonight between the Nuggets and the Lakers. Oh, and by the way, 8:30 or 8 o'clock, the NBA lottery is going on to get Victor.
Good luck to all the Houston Rockets fans out there.
Yeah, if they get him, man.
Dame, I hope Dame's sitting in 5th. Yes, he has a small chance now. Dame could get his whole career changed around with just one bounce of the ball.
And everyone talking about last point, and then we'll change topics. Everyone was talking about LeBron not gonna make it past the second round, not figuring out the Warriors. His IQ, he was not gonna let that say. He was directing players in the positions on the court. He was literally telling players where to go on a play that beat them in the finals back in like 2017, 2018. And I go, yo, this man's different. And another thing, round 2s, Embiid has never made it out of the second round. I make fun of Chris Paul a lot, and I think it's deserved now for Embiid. I think we have to share some of the blame on Embiid. It seems like as the deeper they get, the worse he gets.
Yo, as of right now, I can't debate that. I can't argue that. Maybe come, September when, this is off our memory just a little bit, I could argue that. But as of right now, I can't argue that deal. We saw what just happened Sunday.
Yeah. Other news in the NBA: Ja Morant loves guns. So this man just doesn't get it. I woke up on Sunday morning and just, I saw the Instagram live video that he did. I will say this: the gun was a little bigger than the gun was a little bigger. But other than that, and to go on Instagram live when there was only like 150 people watching, what are we doing, boys? What are we doing? I think Kendrick Perkins said it the best. He talked to Ja and his father preseason, and there was all these things surrounding Ja coming into the NBA. He's had issues with guns before. And he goes, listen, like, you need to surround yourself. I'm not trying to tell you how to move. And they say, Big Perk, we got it. We got it. And Big Perk said, all right, y'all got it, right? We're wasting our breath on a person like this because he's not going to change. We thought we sent him away to rehab for 8 days and we thought he was good. And he had like, a month and a half, 2 months of being good. And then he's right back on it. And even his boy was like, yo, like, chill. And like, he just, what it seems like to me? It seems like a very talented superstar in the NBA wanting to be in a different life and trying to be something he's not. And you know what happens to people like that? And I'm not wishing it, but like bad stuff happens to people who want to be tough and like a gangster. That's my thought on it. I think he's going to get suspended maybe half a year, the whole year. I think they're going to come down on him. They're not playing that anymore because it's not just endangering other people. It's endangering other teams now because his boys were banned from the games because they were pointing red lasers at
in Indiana Pacers.
So it's getting to the point, Elvis, where the Grizzlies might not even want to have to deal with this. So what are your thoughts on Ja Morant?
First, shake my head. Second, Ja, I know you probably want to hear this from, your boy and whatever, but man, whatever makes you feel that like you have to show other people that you're this guy, bro. Do you understand that maybe millions, but definitely thousands of kids look at you like, bro, you're one of the best players in the world. Thousands of kids look at you like, that's my favorite NBA player. Not Steph, not LeBron. You, Ja Morant. And I don't know, Dave, if you saw the Michael Wilbon, he said that he doesn't
Yeah, I
allow
saw
kids
that.
to wear Ja.
I'm not a Michael Wilbon fan, but that was funny.
That was funny. And like,
Yeah.
Ja, you don't, and that's a black man, my man Michael Wilbon. He's doing that. So do you don't think other parents in this, especially in America, be like, you know what, we're not gonna buy you that shoe because of what Ja represent. And Ja, everybody has an image. As of right now, you personally ruined your own image. Nobody put a gun in your hand. You personally took the gun out of wherever you had it at and flashed it. Even your man, who's probably about that life, who's not worth $200 million, who doesn't have a signature Nike deal, who doesn't have a deal with the Powerade, who doesn't have a new 5-year, $190 million extension for the Memphis Grizzlies, he knew better and to take the camera away when you flash a gun. If that man who doesn't have $200 million to lose knows better, why don't you, Ja? That's my question to you. How the fuck don't you still don't know better? You don't need to impress nobody. Bro, when you go out there and score 45 in a game 2 or game 3 against the Lakers in LeBron's house, that's fucking gangster, my boy. I don't know if you. I'm not. Bro, that's what's gangster. When you do something like that, you go drop 40, you go drop a triple double, you go win most improved player of the year. That's gangster. So I just hope you can hear me out. I hope somebody can pass you this, and hopefully you can be like, damn, he's right. When I go drop 40 at the Garden, you drop 50 at the Garden. Them kids gonna remember. Damn, Ja dropped 50 on us. That's gangster. That's what's gangster, Ja. Being a superstar, being an icon, not being gangster. Anybody could pick up a gun, my boy. Not
Yeah.
anybody could pick up a gun and be in a Rolls Royce like you was, my brother.
One thing I don't like about people saying, "Oh, well, they were in Tennessee where they have you could just walk around. It's open carry. You could just
Yeah,
have it on."
you got to keep that in consideration, Dill. It's
But
not
that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he represents the NBA in the Memphis Grizzlies.
Exactly.
But
It has nothing to do what's legal and what isn't. That's irrelevant. I hate the people making that argument. It's an excuse for him.
Yeah, it's
But
still, but it is a but. You gotta have that but, because if you know us, we in New Jersey, New York, California, these states, you get caught with a gun. It's a mandatory 365.
yeah.
Where he's from, well, most likely where he's at. I don't know if he's in South Carolina, where he originated from, or Memphis and Tennessee. I know you could open carry, and he is a superstar. So they're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, like you should open carry, but.
But just like how the NFL and NBA have their own private investigators, they're their own police force. You're still in trouble.
And the difference is how the NBA has their police force, though.
Yeah.
They yet to catch Ja doing anything. It's Ja the one slipping up and showing the world. Like, yeah.
He even said when he got into that fight like months ago with the kid, he had the gun on him then.
Still,
like
it's and I agree with you. I wouldn't go a full year, but he's definitely gonna get suspended for a decent amount of games just because
they have to set the precedent.
It's an ongoing thing. We saw Draymond get suspended, not because the action of him stepping on Sabonis was just so out there. No, it's because there's a history of these things. Now, Ja, there's a history of these things. There's an incident at the volleyball game, at your sister's volleyball game.
Yeah.
There's an incident at the mall. There's an incident with you and a 17-year-old in the pickup game. There's with you with the gun in the strip club in Denver. Now this is you with the gun.
5 things in months.
5 things within a year or two span, Ja. They're gonna hit you, my boy. So I just hope that you could come out of this a better man. At the end of the day, he's only 23. He's only 23. Remember, not to bring it up there, my boy Kobe went through those son at a young age. He saw how he came out of that thing. So, This
I
is
just
not.
feel I just feel like we're wasting our time because this is the 5th time. It's not the 2nd. It ain't the 3rd. It's the 5th time. He is young, and I do think he could change the
Six, the Pacers incident. 6.
so he could still change the trajectory of his life. And I think he has, thank God Nike and Body Armor didn't drop his endorsements because he has 2 huge endorsements for big time brands. So I just don't know what the kid's thinking. Yeah, but I do hope I'm not saying something's wrong with him, but I just think he needs a little help right now. Maybe it's the friend group, maybe it's the situation where he's living. Whatever the case is, he just needs better people around him. But yeah, Ja Morant, at least it was a bigger gun. I gave him props for that. It was a little bigger of a gun this time. Over the weekend, Elvis, I don't know if you caught it, but man, we swept the board in XFL, baby. Arlington Renegades took home the trophy 4-6. They beat DC Defenders 35-26. DC went from a negative -7 to a -8.5 towards game time. We cashed the points, we cashed the over, and we cashed out Arlington outright. So, did you catch the game, and what were your thoughts on Arlington?
I was able to catch the second quarter, though, just when things were getting a little spicy. Caught a little bit of the fourth quarter as well, though. Game got a little interesting now.
Yeah, DC made a little run towards the end.
DC made a little run at the end, though. But to be honest, overall, just not surprised. But, the fact that Arlington was able to just turn it around from the start of the season, because they were one of the worst teams. Think about it, though. They're 4-6 and ended up winning the championship. So
you gotta love it.
Give credit to them. They right before postseason signings. Give credit to that. DC, I expect them to come back. They were the best team in the XFL all season long, though, so I expect them to be back, though. But give credit to Arlington. They showed up. Give credit to Luis Perez. I saw he had MVP deal. So, shout out to Arlington. I hit on the +7.5. Didn't hit on the money line +7.5 and the over. So the dream wager, and I think me and you, Dylan, between the both of us, had a positive XFL season. I don't know too many podcasts out there that could say that, but me and Dylan was dicing it up.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And they turned it around once we mentioned it with the interview with Kobe, when they started getting pieces throughout the year. They finally got a quarterback that could throw it downfield, and Luis Perez. He wound up getting the MVP. Their defense just was flat out. It was insane. I was watching it at Joey's house. The guy number 27 had a one-handed pick six. Like, it was just amazing. I loved it. Arlington was rightfully the better team that day. I'm trying to look for my record. XFL this season, 26-10. I'm up 14 units. So very successful first year of the XFL Champions League. And I think this is going to be a thing moving forward for spring football. What do you say?
So I think moving forward, I think we definitely got to tune in. Also, like that USFL action deal. So I think it's something, and it starts like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl deal. So I think moving forward, I think it's gonna be something we got to keep our eyes on, Dill.
Especially because the lines are very favorable. We could take advantage of them.
Yeah.
So, and also I mentioned to you as well, a lot of the guy, and we're seeing success. We only saw a few people from the USFL get contracts for the NFL. Kicker from the Orlando Guardians today got signed by the Detroit Lions, excuse me. The San Antonio Brahmas linebacker signed with the Steelers. Ben DiNucci, we mentioned it with the interview with Kobe. He got a contract with the Broncos. He threw a pick in in practice, and Sean Payton goes, "Hey, we got a job opening at Walmart if you keep doing that." Because the Broncos ownership owns Walmart. So it was just honestly funny. But I mean, I'm glad these people are showing out and they're getting a second chance at the big stage. So hopefully they take advantage of it. I'm all for these spring football leagues, and it gets us something to move over to when the big boys start playing in the NFL. But other than that, how was your weekend? Last 7 days, talk to me. How have you been?
So Been betting a little less, but your boy's back in the green. Seven
Yeah, I
and
love it.
three last 7 days. Game 7, I took PJ Tucker over. He hit that the first 5 minutes of the game, and I took James Harden on there. Those were my two biggest cashes. I ended up parlaying them, on my sports book at plus 295, and your boy ate pretty good off that.
I love it. Last 7 days for me, 29 and 27 up 2 units. So both back in the green. We both had a very profitable weekend. It was great to hit I hit Arlington plus 240 right before the airport, right before I took off to South Carolina. Red State can't bet there now. So it was nice. I got a bunch of my bets in before I left. But yeah, the brand is back in the green, which we love to see. Before we get to some bets, like I said, NFL scheduling has come out. Opening night. Whew, what a game. Lions on the road taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs 6-2 last 8 home opening games. First Monday Night Football, Bills versus Jets, baby. Elvis and I will be there. I can guarantee that we'll be there for that game. Debut of Aaron Rodgers on Monday night. Jets, they also host the Dolphins on the first ever Black Friday game on November 24th. So that should be very interesting. What are your thoughts initially on just the schedule? Maybe some teams you thought have the easiest schedule compared to the hardest. What were your initial thoughts on the NFL release?
Oh, let's start with the easiest and hardest schedule still. I'm gonna say the hardest schedule has to be the Eagles for sure, Dill, slash the NFC East, because their schedule is tough. The Eagles, hear this 6 game stretch, Dill.
Yeah.
The Eagles have Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys again, Seahawks, and Giants. If you want to exclude the Giants, by all means, but those are 6 consecutive playoff teams you're playing
Yeah.
through October and November, Dill. So that's tough, especially with the 49ers, Seahawks, and Cowboys twice. That's just wild to me, with the Bills in the middle of that. That's just wild to me. Cowboys' schedule is tough as well. Like I said, the whole NFC East schedule is tough, though. And I wouldn't say easiest. I want to use the word easiest,
But
but
easier.
I'll say the schedule I think I possibly like the most will be the Atlanta Falcons, especially in
Yeah.
that division. Arguably one of the worst divisions in football, if not the worst division in football. And then you got some winnable matchups that I see down the road. So you could say Atlanta Falcons. I would say I like their schedule slash that division schedule with Bill. But that NFC East, it's gonna be a tough task. I was looking, look ahead. Dallas Cowboys. You know how I feel about the Cowboys. So
Yeah.
the fact that they win totals only 9.5. I went to look at their schedule and I was like, it makes sense, because that schedule is a real tough one, though. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles hardest, and then I'm gonna say I like not easiest, but I like the Atlanta Falcons schedule, though.
So for me, my first thoughts on like what stood out to me, primetime game, Monday night game, situational spots, European games as well. I found this out. You look to fade teams coming home from Europe without a bye. Their opponents' team totals are 7-3 in the last 10 games. Their defense coming back home, they slow down, they can't get stops, they give up a ton of points. For example, Bills coming back from London last year played the Jets. Jets team total was 17. The Jets scored 27 and won outright. That was the day they beat up Josh Allen. So look to fade teams that are coming home from Europe without a bye. You want to take their opponent's team total over. So that's one thing I want to do. Easiest schedule, I had a few. I like Falcons, I agree. I think the Saints, the Texans, Colts, Panthers, Titans, I think they have the easiest schedule as well. Hardest, I agree. I think the Eagles have the whole AFC East. I put the Patriots, I put the Dolphins, I put the Cowboys, I put the Jets, Bills, Giants have a very hard schedule, and I put the Eagles as well. So you mentioned it. Let's start talking win totals because I did have a few that I just loved off the rip. You mentioned the Cowboys sitting at 9.5. And I understand it as well. This is a team where you just don't know what you're going to get. It's literally a flip of the coin, in my opinion. Those first 6 games are brutal. I feel like they have to end 3-3. Then the back half of the season is tough as well. Dak, he has to avoid getting sacked. His sack rate has gone up each of the past 4 years. His QBR has gone down. I know he's gotten hurt a little, but at plus 142, under 9.5. Gun to my head, Elvis. Call me crazy, but I would take under 9.5 at plus 142. What are your thoughts on Cowboys?
Dill, to be honest, I kind of feel the way you're going as well, Dill, but I do think the Cowboys got a little better.
I do too.
I like the addition of Brandon Cooks. You know how I feel about Stephon Gilmore. I still think he's still a top 5 corner. It's definitely a top 3 coverage corner, by the way. So I don't know, dude. I think Micah Parsons will be better. He kind of had a down year last year, especially the last 6 weeks of the season. Though I expect him to be better. Remember, what for all what it's worth, though, Kellen Moore is gone. Mike McCarthy will be calling the offensive plays, so I don't expect it to be much better, but I expect to see new things. It might be a good thing, might be a bad thing, but they still got CeeDee Lamb there, though. They got Tony Pollard coming back. They added Rojo. Not that that's a major addition, but I like the pieces they have there already. So defensively, they're still a top 10 defensive football team. Will it be a top 5, top 10 offense? Have we seen in the past few years with Kellen Moore leaving to become, the Chargers OC?
Yeah, let me get your thoughts on the Patriots win total. It is sitting around 7.5. They went 8-9 last season. They're only favored in two or three games this upcoming season. Like I said, I think they have a really hard schedule. I hate to be that guy, but I'd probably be on the under with the Patriots. I think they're the worst team in the league. Not in the league, in the division. So I would be on the under. I think they have a very hard schedule, and they did upgrade a little on defense, but you just don't know what you're going to get. I like Bill O'Brien coming back, and I think that's going to help Mac Jones. But I want to see the offensive pieces. I want to see the offense flowing a little bit. So I would be on the under. It's a reason why it's at 7.5. But what are your thoughts on the Patriots?
Yeah, to be honest, I like the over. Just because
Okay.
I feel like we could split with the Jets. We could split with Buffalo. We're gonna split. We might sweep Miami, but I'm gonna give Miami a split. So I feel like we could split everybody in the division, though. And then week 1, I got to see how the team reacts to Tom Brady's,
Yeah.
ceremony. Maybe that might, influence us to go fucking beat the Eagles 35 to fucking 0. Who knows? But I think Tom Brady will give us some damn motivation. I think week 1, I understand the Eagles are the Eagles, though, but I think going into Foxborough is going to be a tough task to, for the Eagles to match up and do. I like the Patriots week 1. I like the Patriots week 2 against the Dolphins, though. Like in MetLife, I'm gonna give you that one, Bill. But I think we could beat the Saints at home. I think we could sneak
Yeah.
one out in the Raiders in Vegas, still. The Commanders, I think that's a winnable game at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Against the Colts, that's another winnable game. I think we could beat the Giants. I think Bill Belichick could still dice up, a quarterback like Daniel Jones. The Chargers at home, I think that's a winnable game. I don't like our chances, but I do think we could win that game.
Kellen Moore's going to elevate that offense, and Justin
I
Herbert's
know,
going to have a
Bill, but
bigger year.
we are at home. It's
Yeah.
December, LA team.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's 85 Friday, and then they come to Foxborough and it's fucking snowing.
Yeah, I love that. What I think in your schedule, you have to win the winnable games. You
Yeah,
have to.
like the Steelers, we have to win that game.
Yeah.
I understand we might not. Honestly, I do think that right now we're a little better than the Steelers just because quarterback play. But it's not like like I'll be shocked if either team is going to be more than a 2.5 point favorite.
Mhm.
So Broncos, I think that's a winnable game. And then, like I said, we finished. We got the Chiefs. I think we lose that one, and then Bills, and we ended with the Bills and Jets. I feel like we split in Dill. I could see us winning 8, 9 games. Realistically, honestly, Dill, because the games we should win, I think we will win, and I think we could upset the Bills once, the Jets once. The only
Yeah.
team we could honestly, I don't think we could upset is the Chiefs. I think we could upset the Eagles. And the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
Eagles, I think, are going to have a much harder year than a lot of people
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I think the Eagles win 10, 11 games.
So let me talk about my team, the New York Jets. You know, the it's going to be tough. You know, I I want to be optimistic. I really do. The win total's at 9.5. We got 6 standalone games, only 2 1 p.m. games before December 8th. 8 of the first 11 games are against playoff teams. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz around the team, excuse me, with the addition of Aaron Rodgers. And, you know, I am confident he'll make the team better. It's not just a major change. It's a huge change. The Jets go from starting a backup either in Mike White or Zach Wilson to a two-time MVP, not far removed either. You
All
know,
time.
so the schedule is very tough. I'm not going to say it isn't, but I am one of those people who think Aaron Rodgers hadn't fall off. A lot of people think he did, and I'm not one of those people because last season he had inexperience in the wide receiver room. It wasn't his fault. I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces when odds come out on game day, but we know the Jets have an elite defense. They're only underdogs in 5 games and 2 of them are at home. Chiefs are only 1-point favorites at MetLife. Win total at 9.5. It's the highest win total for the Jets since 2011. We won 7 games last season with essentially no real QB. I'm on the over. I already put my ticket in at 9.5. Let's go through the schedule real quick. I mean, I like our chances at home against the Bills. I like us against the Cowboys. I like us against the Patriots at home for that
Bill,
one.
real quick, just to bounce
Yeah,
opinions
yeah, yeah.
off. I like your chances against the Cowboys just because it's at Jerry World, and Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers haven't lost in Jerry World, I think, ever.
Mm-hmm.
The
It
New-
is on a short week though.
yeah, it is on a short week deal, but he loves playing in Jerry World. Remember, that's when he beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You can,
We'll talk about that. We just did talk about the Cowboys. I think they're gonna regress just a little. Patriots, I think at home, I think it's a good spot for them. Chiefs, I think we will lose to the Chiefs. Broncos, I like
that's
that.
tough. That's a tough
It all
game.
depends on
That's
how
in,
Sean Payton and Russ, how that combination is gonna go. But
that's a tough game in Denver.
yeah, it's going up to altitude. That could be a tough spot for us.
Yeah.
Eagles, I think we could beat the Eagles. We'll talk about the Eagles because I think they're going to regress a little this season.
We going to that game.
Yeah, that's another one we're going to go to as well. Jets, Giants, another home game. Even though the Giants are technically the home team, I like that because I think the Giants are going to digress.
So Giants fans are going to outshow the Jets fans in that.
Regardless, it doesn't really matter. I just think that the Giants everything went right for them last season. I think they're going to regress a little. I think we might lose Monday night against the Chargers. I think that's a tough game. Raiders going on the road. I think we could beat them. At the Bills, I think that's another one we could cough up and lose. I think we're better than the Dolphins, even though a lot of people are on the Dolphins.
I think I split with them.
Yeah, so we could split. But then they have 2 winnable games against the Falcons, Texans, teams that are rebuilding. A winnable game in DC against the Commanders. Thursday night game, a primetime against Deshaun Watson and the Browns. That could be a slip up. And then you end in Foxborough, which could be a deciding game. So I think there's a lot of wins in the schedule, but the first 6 games are tough. I think we have to start 4-2, something along those lines. It's going to be all eyes are going to be on them, but should be interesting. I actually have a player prop for Aaron Rodgers as well. If you could let me get to that real quick. I'm going to go over 4,025.5 passing yards. You know, I think Aaron Rodgers sets the Jets' all-time passing record. He's definitely going to have a better season than he did last year. His support cast is much better. I don't know about drafting him for fantasy. He'll definitely be better, but I think he's a top 10, top 15 QB for fantasy. He's coming off his worst fantasy season. He had 0 games with 20 points or better. That's never happened to him in his career. And in fantasy, we look for quarterbacks who can run, and we know Aaron Rodgers not getting any younger. I think he's going to have one of his worst seasons running the ball because of the backfield the Jets have. So I'm going to go over passing yards, though. Nathaniel Hackett's there. He got his boys, Lazard, Randall Cobb. We got Garrett Wilson. We got some pieces for him. So I think he sets the all-time record for the Jets. I'm going to go over 4,025.5 passing yards. We both mentioned
Real quick, though.
Yeah.
Where did you get that line at? That 4,000? Because I got 3,875.5.
Oh, I got that at Caesars.
Bro,
no free shout-outs. If it's at 3,800, you better put a lot of money. I might put it. Where'd you find it?
That's FanDuel, bro.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Still, I took the over 3,875.5. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be somewhere between 4,000 and 4,300. You know, I still think he could sling it. Do I see a 5,000-yard passing season? No, I don't. But I do believe he'll be somewhere between that 4 to 43 range.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I missed that. I was looking at Caesars because usually in the future market, they're kind of the leaders and they usually set the line. So that's where I found it.
FanDuel got that thing at 38.75.5. Minus 112 either way.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to, after this, go and bet that. Eagles, 11.5 wins. It's the most bet win total according to Caesars. And Elvis, I'm not sure about this one. This is a team that we saw last season. This isn't the same team we saw last season on defense. They're getting younger on defense. They have a very tough schedule late in the year. They got to win the easy games early in the year. They benefited last season from not catching the injury bug. I doubt they'll have the same luck as last season. Not wishing injury, but I doubt they'll be as lucky not catching all the injuries. It's going to be a much tougher year for the Eagles, in my opinion. So I'd go under 11.5 wins. How about you?
Still, I do think they could get to 11. Will they get to 12? I think that's the tough task still. So I ended up not touching. Maybe I'll come down with it when we do our features, you know, when we have our tool days. Maybe I'll have a play for you by then. But as of right now, I counted it. I'm stuck at 11. Maybe in a few months from now, maybe I'll be able to tell you yes or no on the over-under.
Yeah. The last one I wanted to talk about for over-unders, one that I think is the one I already bet with the Jets. Chiefs over 11.5 wins. They've hit it in 9 of the last 10 years under Andy Reid. I tried to get cute last year, and you remember, you laughed at me. You said, they're not falling out. I tried to get cute with it. They wind up winning the Super Bowl. Never again. All their hard games, Eagles, both teams coming off a bye going into that matchup. So I like schedule makers on that. The Eagles, Bills, and Bengals, the 3 hardest teams on their schedule, all at Arrowhead. I gotta go over 11.5. Patrick Mahomes, 27-3 versus AFC West teams in his career. There's no way they don't win 12 games, Elvis. I gotta go 11.5 over. I'm sorry. Salute.
I apologize on that, people. Dill, I can't argue it. You know, I do expect them to damn near sweep the division, like the Raiders, you know, possibly the Broncos and the Chargers. I give the Chargers a shot to steal the game. Can the Bengals beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead? Possibly. But the Bills at Chiefs, I think the Chiefs take care of business in that. Eagles, Chiefs, that's going to be a showdown. I think the Eagles might get their lick back on that. But every other game, Bill, you know, I give maybe the Jags a shot because they're in Jacksonville. And Minnesota don't got nothing for them. And I'm
telling you, it's an easy schedule.
They might be 13. They actually probably have an easier schedule than I expected to be. But yeah, they do.
And they get the Eagles, the repeat of the Super Bowl. They get it late in the year. They don't even get them early. They get them week 11, week 12, something like that.
Week before Thanksgiving.
Yep. So I love the Chiefs this year. I also, what did I take for the Chiefs player prop? Sorry. Patrick Mahomes, I took over 4,600.5 passing yards, and I took him over 36.5 touchdowns. Last year, he threw for 5,250 passing yards and 41 passing touchdowns without Tyreek Hill. He's gone over these totals in 3 straight years. He's my QB1 for fantasy as well. You want to hear my top 10 QBs for fantasy? I wrote them out. So number one, I got Patrick Mahomes. Number two, I got Josh Allen. Number three, I have Jalen Hurts. Four, I have Joe Burrow. Five, Lamar. Six, Justin Fields. Seven, Justin Herbert. Eight, Trevor Lawrence. Nine, Deshaun Watson. 10, Daniel Jones.
Whoa!
What?
You have Deshaun Watson at 9? Yo, dude, you was talking crazy about this.
Big bounce back here for the Brownies. Huge bounce back for the Brownies. Watch a whole offseason under the playbook. Deshaun had a few massages in the he's gonna be all right. He gonna run a little bit.
Still,
I
have one issue with that.
I already know what it's gonna be. Which one?
All right. Do you want to guess which player you're leaving off your list?
Tua.
Dak Prescott, though.
He's at 11. I put Daniel Jones, Dak, Tua, Kirk, and I put Aaron Rodgers at 15.
I think Dak got to be a little. I think I'll put Dak. Who you got at 9? You got
Deshaun Watson.
I put Dak ahead of Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Just because Dak could possibly give you 30, 40 rushing yards with a possibly a rushing touchdown. We've seen them do it, and to be honest, though, we know Dak Prescott and CD they could hit you over the head.
My one concern with the offense for the Cowboys this season is I don't trust Mike McCarthy calling plays. I have to see it.
I know, but though Dak Prescott been a top 5 fantasy quarterback last 4 seasons.
We'll see. I like making my own list. I feel like they're pretty spot on. Running backs, I got CMC 1, Austin Eckler 2, Jonathan Taylor 3, the rookie Bijan Robinson 4, 5 Saquon, and that's all I really wrote down for that. But what do you think about that?
I would have Henry over Saquon just because
Who?
Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah. But yeah, other than that, like Elvis said, we're going to have our two-a-days coming very soon. But it's always fun to look at the schedule, look at win totals, player props. As the days go on and we creep closer and closer to training camp, we will get ready for the NFL season. But Elvis, before we get into the gambling aspect of the show, let me tell you guys about our sponsor, Viva Tequila Seltzer. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick. Just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry after a Saturday morning workout, it doesn't matter. Our flavors pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Elvis, let's get into it. We got some baseball to take care of. By the way, did you see Aaron Judge try to cheat?
He tried to cheat. Yeah, I want to say he tried to cheat, but he definitely tried to have an advantage. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I saw that yesterday and I thought that was pretty funny. He said he was looking at his teammates yelling his name. I don't buy it. Anyway, we will start in Baltimore with the Baltimore Orioles hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Baltimore Orioles -144 at home, +140, +122 on the road for the Los Angeles Angels. Over under is at 9.5. Elvis, how you playing this game?
I have no matchup, no playing this one, Dill. Like I said, I've been taking it real slow in the MLB, Dill. I do lean Baltimore in this one at home. On money line -144, but to lay the run line at +140 is kind of tempting. Run line with the Angels ain't really nothing there, so I'm staying away from it, Dill.
Yeah, I took Baltimore on a bounce back spot. They lost yesterday 5-9 towards this Angel team, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. 17-4 as a favorite. I think this is a good spot for them. Kramer is a little better than Slilith. And I also like the over. I think a bunch of runs. We got 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out in Camden Yards. So do like the over as well. Let's go out to Marlins. Marlins hosting the Nationals. Marlins minus 162, plus 136 for the Washington Nationals. Over under is at 7.5. No play for me in this one. Elvis, anything for you?
Till I lean the under 7.5, though, just because I feel like both backs ain't gonna show up. It's like a 3-1 game.
Yeah, Josiah Gray has been really good this season for the Nationals as well. So do like the under with you as well. One under that I am on the next game, Detroit Tigers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tigers short favorites at home, minus 126, plus 108 on the other side for the Pirates. Over under is at 8.5. I took the under at 9 earlier in the day. Still like it at 8.5 under. You can still catch 9, so shop around, but I'm going to be on the under in this one. How about you?
Still, I might. To be honest, I kind of want to lay the run line with the Blue Jays at home. You got Guzman on the mound.
Wrong game. We're on Pirates Tigers.
Oh, Pirates. Sorry, I apologize, Dill. I'm not touching it. If anything, I lean Pirates on the money line, especially at plus 105. But I ain't touching it. I thought you was on the.
Yankees, this is the next game. Yankees, Blue Jays. Blue Jays minus 184, plus 154 for the Yankees. Over under at 8. What was your play for this one?
I said I might lean Toronto on the run line here, Dill. Plus 118, I think it's great value. You got Guzman on the mound, and Toronto's back at home, Dill. Kind of like their chances in this one.
Yeah, they are coming off a sweep of the Atlanta Braves. Blue Jays are playing good baseball right now. Yankees did win yesterday, so maybe a good bounce back spot for them. Let's go over to Boston Red Sox. Red Sox hosting the Seattle Mariners. Mariners minus 164 on the road. Over under is at 10. You back in your Red Sox?
Dill, I've been back in my Red Sox for about 2 weeks now. And it's actually been doing pretty good, Dill. We're at home at plus 130. Pavetta's on the mound. I gotta lean the Red Sox at plus 130. Pavetta on the mound.
Yeah, I'm on the under 9.5 in this one. You could get it under 10 as well. I think Nick Pivetta has been in decent form. Luis Castillo on the road, he's been fantastic as well. So on the under in this one, Elvis went blank. We got a chat from Joe. He's at Coastal Carolina versus UNC. Go Coastal. A little top South Carolina versus North Carolina matchup. Keep us informed, Joe. Let me know what goes on there. But let's go over to the Mets. This team fucking stinks. I don't know what the fuck this team's doing. Highest payroll in baseball. They don't. I'm done waiting. I'm done waiting next week. Maybe they'll do something. They had Tommy Pham batting in the cleanup spot. Who? Bro, Francisco Alvarez, he's a bust. He has such plate discipline, getting picked off on first base. He's trash. Starling Marte, garbage. The Mets haven't hit a home run in 51 plate appearances. Francisco Lindor, he's another one. He just wanted to get paid. I am done. You got two 40-year-olds trying to lead the league. You both suck. And stop calling up David Peterson. He's garbage. I could get Elvis with a torn Tommy John thing, and he'll throw 6 strikeouts. This man, David Peterson, getting called up from AAA and letting up runs galore. That was my soapbox. I'm never touching the Mets this season. I'm tired. I'm so serious. Like, you feel that.
No, Dill, that's some real shit. For the people out there listening, that you gotta appreciate some authenticity right there, people, because that's a real New York Mets fan telling you how he feels and why you shouldn't back his team anymore, Dill. With that being said, I don't understand why Tampa's plus money. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays on the road. I understand the great Justin Verlander is on the mound, but Shardy, we're not in Kansas anymore. Give me Tampa on the money line. Plus 140, Dill. And let's put it on, people. I might put multiple units on it, Dill. I might.
The reason they're favorite is because the market still values Justin Verlander. He's washed up too. Don't get me started with this team. I am so done having faith in this team. Buck Showalter, you need to go fucking home too, your old ass. Anyway, I'm not touching that team. They're fucking ass. St. Louis Cardinals. Now I'm all fired up. Blood pressure's going through the roof. Cardinals hosting the Milwaukee Brewers, minus 184 for the Cardinals at home. Brewers plus 154. Over under is at 8.5. No play for me in this one. Elvis is gone, but he'll probably rejoin. I don't know if he'll have a play. I'll just read you off the rest of my plays in the MLB. I got Texas plus 102 on the money line against the Braves. I like Dane Dunning at home. Atlanta not playing that good of baseball. Elvis, you're back. Anything in the Rangers Braves game?
Till, to be honest, I do expect Atlanta to win this matchup. I understand they're on the roll, but they're just a better team in this one. I understand Dunning's on the mound for the Rangers. Rangers, been surprising, Dill, but I think, it's already May. Everybody's going to settle in. The good teams are going to finally start taking off, and the bad teams are going to settle back into place. And I personally think the Rangers is one of those bad teams. So give me Atlanta on the money line at minus 110.
All right, let's go on over to Houston. Astros hosting the Chicago Cubs. Astros minus 178 at home, plus 150 for the Cubs. Over under at 7.5. I really wanted to take the Cubs on the road. Justin Steele has been having a lights out year so far. On the road, Houston is not the same. At home, Houston is not the same team. They should be favorite, but minus 178 is very steep of a price. I'd throw a little half the unit on the Cubs. I'd like to take a shot with them as my dog of the day. So I'm going to take the Cubs plus 150.
Dill, I love the energy having the Cubs at plus 150, Dill, but Javier's on the mound. I'm not going to trust the Houston Astros, but I'm going to have some respect for Javier, Dill. So I'm going to just stay away from it. But still, he's been dulling. He's having a tremendous season. Hopefully he gets traded somewhere good. Yeah. But still, I'm not gonna touch it. But Javier is on the map. I have to respect it.
Here's a guy we could all fade. Lance Lynn in the White Sox. They are hosting the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians minus 124. Short price on the road, plus 106 for the White Sox. Over under is at 8.5. Give me Shane Bieber. Way better pitcher. Lance Lynn. What do I need to say more? We're just gonna fade Lance Lynn. So give me the Guardians on the road. What do you got?
Dill, I ended up staying away from it. I do lean with you with the Guardians on the road, Dill. Minus 120 on the money line, Dill. Gotta keep fading Lance in, but with my luck, Lance Lynn might just go 7 on earn, so I'm gonna stay away from it.
Let's go out to the Rocky Mountains, where the Colorado Rockies are hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Rockies home favorite, minus 132, plus 112 for the Cincinnati Reds. Over under is at 12.5. No play for me in this one. It was a stay away. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not touching it as well, honestly. The Reds.
If anything, I'd lean the over 12.5. You got wind blowing out.
12.5. I understand they in Colorado. They ain't in Mexico City now. 12.5 is a little rich. If anything, I lean Cincinnati out to plus 110 on the money line, though.
All right, let's go out to Oakland, that sad place of an organization. Diamondbacks on the road, minus 158, plus 134 home puppies for the Athletics. Over under is at 9.5. It's a stay away. Gun to my head, I'd probably take Diamondbacks. They are a better team, but I just don't want to lay 158 with Tommy Henry on the mound. So you just got to continue to fade the Oakland Athletics. How about you?
Still, Oakland Athletics is just, to be honest, to me, they should let anybody who wants to go to the game just go in for free because it's the last year. And they're arguably one of the worst teams in American sports. Like, in general, they might be one of the worst teams in American sports, though. It's a shame, how, when we was younger, how exciting that fan base was, and now look what it turned into.
Sad people. And then you had people over the weekend. There was like 40, 50 people at the game, and no one was sitting in the seats. They go down, and you had the ushers ticket saying, "Oh, you're in the wrong seat." You Karens, bro. Karens. Let's go out to San Diego. Padres hosting the Kansas City Royals. Padres minus 198 on the money line, minus 106 on the run line. Over under at 8.5. If you want to take the Royals, plus 166. I'm going to lay the minus 1.5 with the Padres. Seth Lugo's actually pitched really well this season at home. Think it should be a lower scoring game. Going to continue to fade the Royals, and Brad Singer on the road. not a guy you want to back. So I'll take the Padres on the run line here. How about you?
Still, I gotta go with you on this one. Give me the Padres on the run line. You got Lugo on the mound, and I'll be honest, at plus 100, just calling my name. So give me the run line at plus 100.
2 games left. We'll go out to San Francisco. The Giants are hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies short road favorites, minus 118 on the money line. Even money for the Giants. Over under is at 7.5. Give me the Giants. Alex Cobb has been dealing this season so far. I think they have the better pitching matchup between the Zach Wheeler. Phillies bats have kind of picked up a little bit, but at home, I really like the Giants in this spot, a little bounce back spot here for them. So give me Alex Cobb at even money. I think they should be the favorite. How about you?
To be honest, I'm gonna lean, with Wheeler with Philadelphia. I just feel like at one point in time, hopefully soon, the Phillies are gonna take off. I'm just wondering when.
Yeah, that's the main question. We don't know when because they haven't. But those are all my plays. Last game on the slate, Los Angeles Dodgers hosting the Minnesota Twins. Dodgers minus 210 on the money line, minus 1.5, plus 104 with Kershaw on the mound, plus 176 for the Twins. Over under at 8. It was either dog or pass. Kershaw should be the favorite, but plus 176 for a Minnesota team that has been kind of sneaking and staying relevant. Bailey Ober has been really good this season as well. I don't know how well he's been on the road, and the Dodgers are a different team, but I would either it's a stay away, but gun to my head, I probably lean the Twins here on the road. How about you?
Same deal. I kind of want to sprinkle something on the money line at plus 176. I'm not going to go to the window with it. I'm not going to suggest y'all go to the window with it, people. But I think Minnesota would have shocked me if they were able to sneak one out here.
All right, and then we'll finish up on the hardwood. We have one game tonight at 8:30. The Los Angeles Lakers on the road taking on the Denver Nuggets, and then tomorrow night the Miami Heat will play the Boston Celtics. Do you want to maybe talk a little? Do you give the Lakers a chance in this series? They're sitting at plus 140 to win the Western Conference Finals. Do you give them a shot?
Yeah, I'll give them a shot, Dale, just because we know night in, night out, they're going to have 2 out of the top 3 best players on the court, and LeBron and Anthony Davis still. So I still, at LeBron year 20, age 38, I still consider him being a top 10 player in the NBA. And we've seen, especially in Game 6 against Golden State, that he still got some juice in the tank, at 39 and 9. That performance was just stellar. So I still think he could still give you, those triple-double average numbers that we've seen before, but maybe just not, in the 40 range in the points category. And I still think Anthony Davis, when healthy, is top 5 still. So
yeah, I agree.
I do give him a shot. I like the supporting cast. I like, Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura coming off the bench. I love those guys, especially because we don't know night in, night out who's going to give you those extra buckets. Reeves might give you 21 night. Schroeder might give you 21 night. Russell might give you 21 night. Or you're going to have Lonnie Walker come out of nowhere and give you, 15 to 20. And then Hachimura, we saw round 1, he could just heat up any moment, though, especially game 1 against Memphis. So I just feel like, they have the right matchups. They've been the best defensive team in the NBA since the All-Star break, deal. So it wouldn't shock me one bit if they'd be able to be Western Conference champions.
So let's talk about it. Game 1 tonight, Denver Nuggets, the home team, laying 6.5 at home. If you want to take them on the money line, minus 240 on the other side. Lakers plus 6.5. If you want to take them on the money line, almost a $2 underdog, plus 198. Over under is at 222. Elvis, you are a guru. You lead us off. What do you like tonight?
Still, the Lakers that we've seen this postseason, they're undefeated in game 1s, all on the road. We saw win convincingly game 1 in Memphis. We saw them win game 1 in Golden State, Dale. To be honest, I think we see another victory here, Dale. I'm going to play it safe. Give me the plus 6.5 with the Los Angeles Lakers on the road in Denver, Dale. I expect the Lakers to come out hungry, to show some ambition, Dale. I expect them to come out how they did game 1s against Memphis and Golden State. I also expect a huge game from Anthony Davis to show I'm I'm still the best big man in basketball, Dill. And I think he could honestly prove the world that if he goes out there and dominates the Joker on both sides of the ball, defensive and offensive. So give me Anthony Davis over 23 and a half points. So the fact that it's at 23 and a half, I think it's kind of disrespectful. So I ended up doing 25 plus at plus 110 as well, people. So I got Anthony Davis over 23 and a half at minus 110. And then I got him at 25 plus points at plus 110 as well.
I was high on the Nuggets all last series. I kept riding with them. They were profitable, but besides the games on the road, at home, they're just a different team. I really wanted to back them, but I got to take the Lakers plus the points. I think with AD and LeBron and all the depth that they have with Schroeder, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves has been a baller. I gotta take the 6.5 points in my pocket. I also like the over. I think both teams are gonna get theirs. I know Lakers are a very good defensive team, but I think both teams are gonna be able to get there. So I do lean over as well. And as for props, LeBron James under 2.5 threes. He's 0 for 4 against the Nuggets. With his 3-pointers. He's hit 2, 2, 2, and his last one. He has yet to hit 3. He's having a poor performance in the playoffs shooting wise as well. Yeah, he erupted last game 6, but other than that, we've seen him kind of facilitate more and not shoot as much. I also like Jokic over 9.5 assists. He's gone over 9.5 assists in 2 of 3 games at home against the Lakers this season. The one game he didn't, he hit 9. So, this is coming on less minutes than what he's been averaging in the playoffs. The Lakers actually have a big body in the post that could play physical with him, with the Jokers. So, I think there'll be a little less of a scorer and more of a facilitator with Jokic. So, going to go over 9.5 assists with him. And last one, I'm going to go like my boy Austin Reeves over 1.5 threes at minus 130. My boy, I like him. He has an 80% hit rate in the playoffs and versus Denver, averaging 2 3-pointers over the season. He's cleared this in 4 of his last 5 against Denver. I like it. I think he's going to get a lot of looks. Austin Reeves averages either 25 to 30 minutes a game. Give me 2 shots, Austin. You got it. I know you do. So Austin Reeves over 2.5 threes. Now for the next game, same question. Do you give the Heat a chance? Because no one gave him a chance against the Bucks. No one really gave him a chance against the Knicks. And they keep they were underdogs. They were like minus 240 underdog or minus plus 240 underdogs series. Obviously that changed, but a lot of people thought they wouldn't be able to rebound with the Knicks. But they proved everyone wrong there. They proved everyone in round 1 wrong. They lost the first game in opening in the play-in. Then they come back and win. This is a crazy story. Do you give them a chance against Boston, or does Boston have too much?
Dude, I'll give them a shot just because there's history there. We saw them in the bubble year. Miami and Boston duke it out in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was a tough one. We saw last year they eliminated them again in the Eastern Conference Finals, Dill. So we seen a rematch here in this matchup, Dill. I think these teams know each other well. I think Coach Bo is a little better head coach than Missoula with the Celtics, Dill. I think Jimmy Butler might just want it. I think he's just a little more hungry, Dill. And it wouldn't shock me if this Miami team without Tyler Hero upsets this Boston Celtics team.
All right, let's get to it. They are 8-point favorites at home. They've had trouble at home covering besides game 7. Over under is at 210.5. You're either going to take the points or you're going to lay them. You're not going to take them on the money line. What's your play here for game 1 Wednesday night?
Yeah, I ended up taking early. I see the line moves. I ended up taking Miami Heat plus 8.5. I still like it at plus 8. We've seen the Boston Celtics lose, multiple home games last year against the 76ers. Remember, we saw them lose game 1 in Boston and also lose a crucial game 5 in Boston, Dill. So I think Miami can sneak one of these games. I think game 1 is more likely. So give me Miami plus 8.5. Give me plus 8 as well. I like them. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck game, and it wouldn't shock me if Jimmy Butler and this Miami Heat team sneaks one out in game 1 is Boston, Dill. I know it might be a little scary, people, but give me the points, both underdogs, game 1 in each conference.
I mean, I can't fault you either. I'd be on the 8.5 if you could still find an 8.5 with Miami. They just find ways to stay in games. They keep ticking and ticking along. And if Bam Adebayo has games like he did in Game 6, they're going to be in a lot of games. So I understand taking the 8.5. That's what I would take as well. I also like the over. I think Boston has a lot of depth and a lot of ways they could score. Prop, I already took Jason Tatum. I told you I love his assist prop. If it's always under 4.5, he usually, gets 5.5 assists. So gonna go over 4.5 assists at -135. And Al Horford, double at plus 1,000. Number is just way too high. I just got to play the number. He's averaging 9.1 and 9 against Miami the last 2 seasons. He's averaging 18 total. A double-double? I think he could get that. So Al Horford's having a great season, especially in the playoffs and against Miami, where they don't really have that too many big men to put on him. Al Horford at plus 1,000 for a double-double, I think it's worth a sprinkle as well. So those are our plays. We will be back this weekend. Sorry for all the time changes and different days we've been recording. That is on me, but no more traveling. I'm locked and loaded here back home in the East Coast. Elvis, thank you again. Any last words before we get out of here?
Let's just see a great, couple of games in this Eastern and Western Conference Finals, still, because we only got, like you said, 4 teams left, and after this 2 series, only one, hopefully, great series left. Yeah. So 3 series left of basketball till October. Let's just enjoy, people.
Let's continue to stay in the green. And let's continue to have positive success and transparency. That's what we do here. And that's going to do it for this Tuesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys in a few days. So please follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, give us a review. Also, follow our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to there. Hit the like button. You'll be notified whenever we go live. We go live every episode now. So all that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend. Tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers, and we'll see you down the road.